Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Lloyd, here from thenewwayfitness.com, and today's video, I wanted to share some pictures that I took 1 year ago, and the second pictures I took just recently, of 1 year of bulking, basically, of trying to eat at a calorie surplus while doing pretty much two different main exercises. One was the exercise program InSun's 531, linear progression program. Number two was the GZCLP linear progression program, and a brief period, like maybe 2-3 weeks of push-pull legs, but basically just weightlifting 4 to 5 times a week with minimal cardio, basically no cardio, let's be real, and just eating in a calorie surplus of about 2,800 to 3,000 calories. A lot of it was highly processed foods. I'm talking like Kraft's macaroni boxes, 1,280 calories for those dinner boxes, the mac and cheese, and lots of carbs, and kind of just bulking a lot. And so I did hit the weight goal I wanted to hit of 170 pounds. I hit about 172 at the highest. Today I weighed in, I was 170. And I learned a lot of interesting things in this last year, and I've got pictures that I want to show you. So this first picture you see here is me in 2016 after a workout. I believe I was flexed here after a workout, and that's why I have the ripped abs and the veins and stuff on my arms. So I finished a workout. This was in 2016. I was 147 and a half, so 147 pounds, and felt pretty good. So this is me at a lower body fat percentage. Remember this image, so as we go further you'll see, but this is kind of a starting point of where I was trying to bulk up back then even, but I didn't really eat at a calorie surplus. So my TDEE was about 2,500 according to my spreadsheet, 2,550 or so, and the last year I was eating in a surplus of about 400 to 500 calories, so I was bulking quite a bit above what I needed. And so let's go to the next picture here. So picture on the left is from June 20th, 2018, last year. I was 149 pounds. Picture on the right, I was 171 pounds, which is 22 pounds gained. Now, this picture here, I gained a lot of increase in my arms, and I gained increase in my shoulders a bit, and my back got a lot wider. My waist got a lot wider too. If you look and pause and look closely at my waist, you can see I'm starting to develop love handles almost, but not quite. My waist did increase by about 2 inches with the bulk of the year. So on the left is about a 30-inch waist, on the right is like a 32-inch waist. But my arms got quite a bit bigger. That left arm is, or is it the right arm? Yeah, it's the left arm. It's still very stubborn to grow as far as the bicep. This next picture here, on the left, 149 pounds. On the right, 171. This is the same days, this whole series of pictures, the same duration of time. As you can see, it's not perfectly the exact same pose, because on the first picture on the left, I kind of tilted back more, so my traps are kind of hidden, but on the picture on the right, I kind of just stood straight with my traps, so you can see them more. But the arms look the same, kind of. As you can see, that left arm is just like a non-responder when it comes to trying to gain a peak size on that compared to the right. It just doesn't want to grow, so it's hard to get that. But the chest got a lot bigger. The abs aren't as visible after the bulk because I gained quite a bit of fat, but I do look kind of thicker. On the left one, I look more ripped. As you can see, the veins in my bicep, and you can even see like the rib, well, not the ribs, but the serratus anterior, and you can see a lot more definition on the left. So this is the next picture here. Not the same exact pose, and I tend to pop out my Was that my left? Yeah, I tend to pop out my left like trap for some reason when I make this pose. I don't know. I don't think it's a muscular imbalance to that degree, but if you look, like my left side is always popped up a bit. I think that's just because of how I'm posing incorrectly. But as you can see on the left, more striations, more definition in the muscles, in the chest area, and the shoulders, delts, and the bicep vein. You can see on both arms clearly a visible bicep vein. And on the right, the bicep vein on the right arm is slightly there. On the left arm you can't really see it because of the shadow, but it's not probably there as clearly. The veins in the forearms aren't really there as you can see on the left that they're there. The chest kind of basically looks the same as far as the striation flexing muscle parts, but it looks a bit fluffier. It's not as ripped looking, and the abs are not as ripped looking either. If you're wondering what those red lines that go across horizontally, that is just when I'm sitting down, the skin folds, not fat folds, but just your skin rolls over itself, so it creates those creases, but they go away after a short duration. Just in these pictures, they're there because I was sitting for a period of time before taking these pictures. And these pictures are not flexed or anything. Well, later on they're flexed, but these aren't after workout. These are just like before a workout, just a normal day of how I look. So this is a relaxed front area. No flexing here, just relaxed front chest. I believe I pose better on the left. It's not the exact same pose on the right. I'm kind of slouched a bit, but on the left I kind of bring my shoulder blades back together to kind of be pressed out a bit. So the chest on the left looks different than the chest on the right, but that's just because of the way I'm posing with my shoulder blades pulled back. So the chest on the left does look better because of that, but it's still the same as far as like visually. It just looks different on the right. It looks like on the right I basically got fat because of my body fat percentage. My abs kind of disappeared, my chest kind of looks puffy and just there, and my bicep vein you can't see, and my shoulders look fine. Traps look okay. Yeah, they look fine on that. So this next picture here, this is like a messed up pose. I didn't do it right at all. So they're not exactly the exact same at all. The left one is a lat spread. I'm trying to press my lats out as far as I can. The right one, I do like half lat spread, but then I start using my chest more, so it looks all confusing. So I wouldn't take this as an exact pose, but the biggest thing you can see here is just the difference in how the chest looks, but that's just due to posing. There's really nothing here to discuss. This next picture is probably the best picture visually of the difference in 22 pounds of weight on my body. As you can see in the legs here, my legs just blew up by like 2 inches or so each leg. On the left, we've got the leg, and then after a year, on the right we have the difference, and it's just kind of like night and day as far as how big the legs got on the quad area. Even the calf area has improved a lot, as you can see. Well, my webcam, let me change my webcam area, it's in the way a bit. There we go. So on the leg on the left side, you can see it's kind of a bit leaner and smaller, but then if you look on the right side, after a year of that left leg on the right picture, it's gotten a lot bigger. The definition and just the size of that has improved. So that is great to see. I'm very happy with how the legs developed, actually. I'm not very disappointed in any of the fat gains on the legs or anything. They're still pretty solid, and they actually look stronger now than they did. The upper body looks similar in this picture due to lighting, but the upper body does look a little puffier, and the waist looks quite a bit bigger. The forearms look similar. They didn't look like they changed too much, and it's not a perfect exact picture, but it's pretty close to the same position. Okay, this next picture here, the pose isn't exactly the same because on the left pose I'm kind of like barely having my fingers on my waist and doing kind of like a mini lat spread, and then on the picture on the right I'm kind of just flexing my chest while having my hands by my side. So you can see the position of the clavicle and the shoulders isn't exactly the same, but I think the biggest areas you can see that have improved is that I look just wider in general in the midsection and in the back, and the upper chest looks wider, and the arms look wider. The arms look bigger. So even though the pose isn't the same, you can see the difference. The veins in the forearms and the hands, probably due to the lighting, because you can still partially see veins on my arm on the right picture, on my hands, and a little bit on my left forearm, or my right forearm. But yeah, that's about it for that picture. We've got the tricep. This is the right tricep. This pose is pretty similar. Probably the only difference is on the left side I tilted back a bit instead of standing straight while doing this, so it looks a little different by about a few degrees, like 20 degrees or so maybe. But I think the biggest thing you can take from this picture is the chest development. It's a lot more pressed forward, when before on that picture the chest is not as large. It's kind of a bit more flat. The shoulder looks a bit bigger on the right. The triceps look about the same. The forearm right below the elbow looks quite a bit bigger, and the stomach on the right picture looks quite a bit bigger than the stomach on the left picture. And I think that's about it as far as the comparisons you can make here. So that brings me back to the first picture. This is how I looked when I was 147 lean after a workout, and I would say this is how I look most recently now, because this is this is basically how you see yourself unflexed, not after a workout. Cold flexed, just take your shirt off. So what I've learned here, and I'll go over some numbers with you, is that, wait, let me get my FitnessPal measurements up. I did try to take some measurements. We already know the weight difference. The neck difference didn't really change. The neck was still 14 inches around. The waist was 30 inches about 1 month after the left picture. So that's basically the same. So I had a 30-inch waist July 11th, 2018. And when I measured April 15th, 2019, so that's still 3 months before the right picture, so it might have gotten even a little bit bigger. My waist was at a 32, so that's a 2-inch waist increase in a year, roughly. The hips increased by 1, according to my measurements, 1-inch increase in the hips. The calves increased by 1/2 inch. The chest, apparently the chest only increased by 0.3 of an inch, 0.3. 39 chest 2018, April 2019, 39.3 inch. So if I was to measure in July 2019, 3 months later, which is what this picture on the right is, the chest might be a bit bigger, maybe 1/2 inch instead of 0.3, but I don't know for sure. The right arm increased quite a bit. The right arm went from 14.5 inches in 2018 to, when I measured June 18th, 2019, which is 1 month before the right picture, I was 15.7. So it increased by 1.2 inches in a year, which is pretty good for an arm size. That's really good to me. The left arm, a little bit more stubborn, like I said. It was 14.3 in 2018, in July 2018. When I measured June 2019, it was 15.2. So it increased 0.9, almost 1 inch in a year. A little bit less than the right arm, but close. So now the difference between the right arm and the left arm is 1/2 inch, which is still noticeable if you look at it, but it's just a stubborn non-responder. I've been trying to do isolation work on it, and starting my biceps exercises with the left arm first. It's hard to get that arm to grow. Okay, the right thigh in 2018 was 22.3 inches. In 2019 was 24 inches on the right thigh. So it went 1.7 inches increase on the right thigh, 1.7 inches in a year. The left thigh was 22.5, so pretty similar to the right thigh, not too far off. And the left thigh was also 24 inches, roughly. So 1.5 inch in a year. The ankles, still 9 inches. In 2018, I measured them 9 inches. Measured them in 2019, 9 inches. The forearm, I measured in 2018, 11 inches. Measured in 2019 April, 11.5 inches, so it increased half an inch. The wrist, still the same inches. You can't really change your wrist size, you can't really change your ankle size for the most part. So in 2018, my wrist was 6.5 inches. In 2019, my wrist in April, still 6.5 inches. Body fat percentage. Now this is something that was a bit shocking to me. I thought on my right picture at 171 pounds, I thought I was about maybe 15 to 17% body fat. On the left picture, I thought I was maybe, I don't know, 13% body fat. But I used body calipers the other day that I've had for a long time, and I'm not a perfect expert at using these calipers, but I did follow the instructions and tried to do as best as I could estimate it. And I came out to the number of my body fat percentage on the right picture after my bulk being 21.42% body fat. So according to this right picture after the bulk, I'm at 21.5% body fat, which is considered moderately overweight based on body fat alone. The left picture before I started my bulk, I didn't do a caliper test. I should have, I didn't think about it. So I don't know exactly what that body fat percentage is, but it could be 15%. And after a year, I gained 6%, 6.5%. I don't know for sure, but the picture on the right after the bulk, 171 pounds, 21.42% body fat. So now I wake up in the mornings and I kind of feel a little fat. So I've decided that after finding out my body fat percentage and how it looks and comparing with some other pictures online of people in the 20% body fat range, my pictures do look similar to someone of 20% body fat. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to start a slight calorie deficit cut. So lately, before now, like in the last couple weeks in the last year when I've been bulking, I was eating about 2,800 calories to 3,000 calories per day. I didn't really care if it was high fat or high sodium. I was just trying to bulk up. As long as I was getting at least 140 grams of protein a day and about 400 grams of carbs. And I tried to keep the fats not too high, but sometimes they'd go over 100 grams a day. And so this is the result of that. And so the calorie surplus I was eating was only about 500 calories over my supposed amount that it was supposed to be, the TDEE. But as you can see, if you don't do enough cardio and if you just eat a fair amount of processed foods like Kraft macaroni boxes and lots of carbs and starches with high protein, you will gain weight and you will bulk up and your strength will increase. My strength has increased a lot. I can bench 225 pounds, which I've never been able to do before at any point. I'm squatting heavier than I ever have at any point. I'm overhead pressing heavier than I ever have at any point. My deadlift is heavier than it's ever been. My deadlift was like 270 pounds the other day with the help of lifting straps because my grip falls out. Overhead press was like 150 pounds for a few reps. Well, one rep for a few sets. And I think the heaviest overhead press I did was 155 pounds, which is a strong overhead press for my body weight. My deadlift number is still not good, needs to be higher. My squat numbers were like 260, 265 squat, but looking back on the footage of the videos, I wasn't breaking parallel, I was just above parallel, so I need to reassess that, and I decided to deload on that too. And my bench of 225 was for 10 sets of one, but I only did like maybe 5 sets of one, and the other ones I failed. You'll see that in a future video in some clips. So now, all my strength increased a lot, you know. I definitely have gained strength, but it came at a cost. And so now, to be honest, I don't even look like I lift. That's my personal opinion. On the right picture, I don't even look like I lift. I know I lift because you can see in my videos I exercise and I lift and I work out a lot, but to me, I have to do some body recomposition now. So this is a journey again of what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to reduce my calories. My TDEE is 2,500 a day. I'm going to reduce that down to 2245. Yeah, 2245 roughly. So I'm going to be eating 2,245 calories per day with a high protein amount. I'm still going to be doing the GZ CLP program. I've got 5 more weeks on that until I'm done with that after 20 weeks. And after I finish that, I may go back into the Insons program, or I may do something else. I may even do something crazy like P90X3, Body Beast, I don't know. But I don't want to lose the gains I've made through strength training, so I might stick with just keep doing strength training, because if I do too much P90X and stuff, I'll look a bit more ripped, but I'll lose the mass and strength that I had. So what we'll be doing is adding more cardio. So we're going to be lifting weights 4 times a week. We're going to be doing cardio 3 times a week. Actually, no, we're doing cardio 2 times a week, at least for 15 minutes of high impact jump rope, which I just recently got a jump rope. And let me tell you, doing jump rope for 15 minutes in intervals of like 1 minute on, 30-second rest, 1 minute on, 30-second rest, dude, it's crazy. I'm sweating so much after 14 minutes of just exercising jump rope. Felt like I just ran like 3 miles. It's crazy. So that's really awesome. I like the jump rope cardio. Probably going to be doing also another moderate, steady cardio for 30 minutes for that second cardio workout. And then the third day that I have off from weightlifting, which is going to be an active recovery day, I'm probably going to do 30 minutes of yoga. And that's it. Going to have reduced calories, follow the same exercise program I'm doing most likely for the next 5 weeks, add in 2 extra days of cardio, do yoga, and reduce my calories by 250 below my TDEE, and also deload my weights that I'm exercising by 10%. So probably won't be seeing myself bench press 225 again for a while, but that's okay. We'll see. Maybe I can get back up there at a lower body weight. I'm not quite sure, but we'll just have to find out. So now that I hit my goal weight, I need to start doing body recomposition to lose this fat that's started to accumulate, because if I keep bulking at this point with my body fat percentage, I will probably gain more weight and gain more fat, and I don't want that. So I do want to gain weight, of course, but I don't want to gain more fat along with it. So at this point I have to recomp and probably drop down to about 160, 165, see how my body looks at that point, and then if it looks good with less body fat percentage at the 160, 165 pound, then I can slowly bulk by doing a 250 calorie surplus of my TDEE. Otherwise, I'll keep going and reducing body fat percentage until I'm at a weight I feel good at. 149 pounds on the left a year ago, I felt good at, but I don't feel as strong then as I do now. I feel much stronger now, but the problem is I've gained the body fat and I've gained a bit too much body fat, so now we have to do body recomposition. So that's what this whole video was about. Going forward, if you see videos of me lifting lighter weights and you're wondering what the heck, why are you lifting light weights now? And why are you losing weight? This is why, and you will know. I know it's been a long video. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. I'll see you in the next one. Leave a thumbs up and like if you enjoyed the video.